I'm Pastor Kelvin, lead pastor of the Westmore Church of God, and we've been discussing this need to customize ministry to fit your church. Many pastors just don't seem to fit, and it's because oftentimes they've tried to pastor the last church the way they're trying to pastor this church. Oftentimes it's because they've picked up some idea from a church growth conference, and they've, without knowing the DNA of their congregation, they've sought to implement it, and it just doesn't fit. Well, you do that too many times, and your congregation will begin to wonder whether or not you fit. I think it's incredibly important that you know the DNA of your congregation. So in session 4, we're going to continue this journey through how to discover what the DNA is. In the last session, session 3, we talked about the need to get your leadership together early in the process. And if you're pastoring now and you've never done that, you need to pull together your leaders and influencers and begin to talk to them about this. And begin to pull their burdens and passions, and begin to pull together their burden, what we feel, visions, what we see, missions, what we do, and values are who we are. And if you can ever figure out how to define all 4 of those things and get them working together, wow, you'll have momentum in your congregation. And so we've been talking a little bit about that in session 3, and I want to kind of continue that in session 4. Let me simplify this for you. If you're a father in your home and you have a teenage son, let's just say this hypothetically, that doesn't know Christ, and you want to see them come to know Jesus, and you're troubled by that. Burden is what you feel. Burden would say, I've got to do something. I've got to do something about my son that doesn't know Christ. Burden might move you to pray. Burden might cause you to research out scriptures as to how and what a father should do who cares deeply about his boy. Burden might cause you to spend time with him, to get to know him even better and to hear his heart. Burden might move you to do those things because it's what you feel. Vision would say, I want to see my child saved. Vision would create pictures in your mind of a child that comes to know Christ and repents and accepts Jesus as his personal Lord and Savior, and he experiences that transformation. So vision would see all of that, and whatever that's supposed to look like. Burden would be what you feel, vision would be what you see, and then mission would say, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up some strategies. I'm going to pray every day during my devotional time, and I'm not going to pray one day without lifting up my son every day to the Lord. I'm going to make sure he's at the table, and we're going to adjust our schedules so that we can include devotional time at the meal, because my son's getting ready for school when I've had my personal devotion. So I'm going to adjust some schedules so that I can make sure I get my son to the table. You're going to do some things, some practical things. Mission's what you're going to do, and that doing is going to feed into the vision, and it's going to connect to the burden so that you've got burden and mission and vision flowing together, and I hope I'm making sense. Then there's the 4th thing that you're going to do. Values are going to say, I am a believing parent who believes that my child must become a person of faith, and I'm a person of faith, and I've dedicated my son to the Lord, and I refuse to stand on the side and not do something to see him come to Christ. And so I'm going to believe, and I'm going to accept the fact that God's got his hand on my child. So believing would be a value. Once again, all 4 of those things would be working together in a cohesive manner. Strategy that comes with mission. What you do. Vision, what you see. Burden, what you feel. Values, who you are. It all comes together because of a passion that you have to see your son saved. Now, move that same line of thinking into a much bigger picture with your congregation. Whether you run 2,000, 10,000, or 5 in a small group. It's applying that same concept and asking the questions, what are we burdened for? Because if you can define that, that'll get you in your wheelhouse. In the next session, I really and truly am going to start unpacking how you can move into this arena of gift mix. I've told you in previous sessions, there are 2 or 3 things that you must know. You must know the gift mix of your congregation, you must know the story mix of your congregation, and you must know the culture of your congregation. When you get those three things working together, you've got it going. Up to this point, we've basically defined burden, mission, vision, values. We've talked to you about the necessity of knowing gift mix, story mix, and culture. Now we're going to start attacking the idea of gift mix and how you can begin to move your congregation into a concept that we need to develop ministries to fit this very unique gift mix that our church has that quite likely may not be like any other church in our area. And when we discover that, things are going to pop.